If the grand cathedrals of Europe were never built? What if the Crusades, the Inquisitions, the Reformation, and the rise of religious empires never happened? What if religion never played a major role in human history? This isn't just a thought experiment. It's an exploration of an alternate world where morality, culture, politics, and conflict evolved without the driving force of organized religion. Today, on Renaissance Reframed, we ask, what would human civilization look like if religion had been just a background detail rather than a dominant force? In our timeline, the earliest civilizations, Sumer, Egypt, the Indus Valley, and China, intertwined deeply with religion. Temples were the centers of power. Priests were record keepers, scientists, and politicians. But in this alternate world, the earliest societies organized around commerce and science rather than divinity. The first cities aren't built around temples, but around knowledge halls, libraries, or council forums. Priests, instead of becoming society's moral compass, remain minor philosophers or healers. The divine is discussed like a theory respected, but never absolute. What replaces religion? Likely, a form of early humanism, where moral systems evolve from collective reasoning, tribal ethics, and shared survival strategies. Philosophers, not prophets, become the guiding lights of society. In our world, religion gave rulers their legitimacy. Pharaohs were gods. Medieval kings ruled by divine right. Caliphs were both religious and political leaders. Without religion, power structures look very different. Leaders must earn their authority through demonstrable skill, military success, or democratic support. There is no divine mandate, no coronation by a pope, no holy wars to rally the people. This might mean earlier developments in secular republics, meritocracies, or scientific advisory councils. Politics becomes pragmatic, not dogmatic. But there's a catch. Without religious unification, early states may struggle with fragmentation and ideological diversity, making them more politically unstable in the short term, yet possibly more innovative in the long term. Religion has fueled some of history's most devastating conflicts, from the Crusades and Jihads to the Inquisition and sectarian strife. Without religion playing a major role, wars still happen, but for different reasons: land, trade, power, not salvation. The Crusades never happened, meaning Christian Europe doesn't come into early contact with Islamic science and knowledge. But conversely, no destruction of Islamic libraries, no religious bloodshed in Jerusalem, and no mass exoduses of Jews and heretics from Christian territories. Empires may rise and fall, but without the zeal of divine mission, expansion is more calculated, less ideological. The tragedy? Some cultural unity that religion brought, like Islamic scholarship or the Catholic identity in Europe, might be missing. But the benefit: fewer genocides in the name of God, less us versus them tribalism. What if science never had to battle religion? In our timeline, the church suppressed heliocentrism, evolutionary theory, and much of modern medicine for centuries. In this alternate world, without dogma to slow it down, science accelerates, possibly by 500 to 1,000 years. Imagine Enlightenment happening in 900 AD instead of the 1700s. The scientific revolution starting before the printing press. We could have had spaceflight by the 1600s, genetic engineering by the 1800s, and quantum theory by the time of the Industrial Revolution. Without religious doctrine to protect outdated views, education becomes purely evidence-based, not scripturally filtered. Religion has inspired some of humanity's greatest artistic achievements: cathedrals, chants, Hindu sculptures, Islamic calligraphy. Without religious patronage, what does art look like? Perhaps we see more human-centered art earlier in history, exploring daily life, emotions, love, politics, and nature, rather than divine stories. Philosophy, too, would evolve. Greek rationalism, Buddhist ethics, and Confucian pragmatism might become mainstream moral systems. We'd see schools of thought based on ethics without gods, justice without afterlife threats, and purpose without paradise. Yet, some emotional and existential depth that religious art offers. Mystery, transcendence, awe might develop more slowly. Religion played a major role in developing hospitals, charities, and education systems. But what if these functions were always secular? In this world, university systems, welfare programs, and ethical treatment of the poor arise from philosophical or economic reasons, not religious duty. Think of an early version of the United Nations formed not by religious moralism, but by global humanist ideals. Early global ethics conferences, rights of animals, prison reform, and gender equality may emerge centuries earlier. Religious missions were integral to colonization, but they also destroyed indigenous traditions. Without them, colonialism still happens, driven by economic ambition. But perhaps without forced conversions and cultural erasure, indigenous languages, spiritual systems, and medicine are preserved, not replaced. This world could be more culturally diverse, with mutual respect among civilizations driven by trade, and curiosity rather than conquest and conversion. Would a world without religious dominance be more peaceful? Or would it lack the unity, purpose, and structure religion once provided? The answer isn't black and white. Without religion, we may advance faster in science and medicine. We may avoid countless wars and persecutions. We may form ethical systems rooted in shared humanity, but we might also lose a common moral language, the awe and mystery that religion gives, the unifying stories that connect generations. Ultimately, religion shaped us for better and worse, and asking, what if it hadn't, helps us see what could still be. History is a mosaic of belief and reason, light and shadow. In imagining a world where religion stayed in the margins, we better understand the world where it took center stage. Thanks for watching Renaissance Reframed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know in the comments. Do you think a world without religion would be better or worse